What if aging is no longer an unbreakable rule of biology, but a problem we can solve? For the first time in history, science is not just treating disease, it is targeting aging itself. Through gene editing, advanced therapies, and a deeper understanding of our DNA, researchers are working to extend health span, the years we remain strong, sharp, and independent. The goal isn't immortality, it's resilience, vitality, a future where 80 no longer means fragile. But if we truly learn to slow aging, society won't just live longer, it will change in ways we can barely imagine. And this may only be the beginning. Gene editing technologies have added another layer of possibility. With tools that allow precise modification of DNA, researchers are investigating how to correct genetic mutations that accelerate aging or increase vulnerability to disease. The goal is not cosmetic youth, it is resilience. It is extending the period of life spent in good health. This field is often called longevity research, but its true focus is not simply longer life, it is health span, the number of years a person remains physically and mentally capable. Today, many people live into their 80s, but the final decades are often marked by chronic illness. The new vision aims to compress that period of decline, to extend vitality rather than just survival. Ale follows these developments closely. He remembers when the first therapies were approved, treatments designed not to cure a single disease, but to target aging itself as a root cause. Regulatory systems had to adapt. Clinical trials were redesigned. Instead of measuring survival alone, researchers measured strength, cognition, mobility, and independence. The early results were modest, a few extra years of health, delayed onset of certain diseases. But progress accelerated. As understanding deepened, interventions became more refined. Combination therapies addressed multiple aging pathways at once. Then came the turning point. Imagine a world where the average 80-year-old has the physical condition of today's 50-year-old, where cognitive decline is significantly delayed, where age-related diseases such as heart disease, osteoporosis, and certain neurodegenerative disorders become far less common. In such a world, retirement at 65 would seem arbitrary, careers might span a century, education would no longer be confined to youth. People might reinvent themselves multiple times, engineer, teacher, artist, researcher, across a lifetime that remains vibrant. Relationships would change as well. Marriage until death do us part might mean 150 years together. Family structures would evolve. 4 or 5 living generations would become normal. The definition of adulthood itself might shift. Economies would transform. Pension systems designed for short retirements would need reinvention. Healthcare systems would shift from managing decline to maintaining performance. The concept of middle age would stretch. Yet such profound change carries risk. If life extension therapies are expensive, access may be unequal. A world where only the wealthy can significantly slow aging could deepen social divides. Longevity might become a new form of privilege. The gap between those who age normally and those who do not could reshape power structures in unpredictable ways. There is also the question of population. If death from aging is delayed, global population growth could accelerate unless balanced by lower birth rates. More people living longer would require careful planning for resources, housing, and environmental sustainability. Political systems could be affected as well. Leaders able to remain healthy for many decades might consolidate power. Generational turnover, which has historically driven cultural renewal, could slow. Would societies become more stable or more stagnant? And there is a deeper question. Aging has shaped human experience for millennia. It gives life a natural rhythm: childhood, adulthood, old age. Each stage carries its own meaning. If that rhythm changes, how will our sense of purpose change with it? Ale sometimes wonders about this. If you expect to live a century in good health, urgency feels different. Risk feels different. Ambition feels different. Does extended youth encourage wisdom or delay maturity? Does knowing you have more time make you cherish it more or less? Science is careful not to promise the impossible. No credible research suggests humans will become immortal. Cells will always face entropy. Accidents, infections, and unforeseen diseases will remain. The goal is not to stop time completely. It is to slow the biological processes that cause predictable decline. Yet even slowing aging by a few decades would be one of the most transformative achievements in human history. It would rival the discovery of antibiotics, vaccines, or electricity, because aging is the single greatest risk factor for most chronic diseases. Addressing it at the root could reduce suffering on a massive scale. We stand at a threshold. The tools are emerging. The data is growing. Animal studies show promise. Early human trials are underway. Ethical debates are intensifying. Governments and research institutions are beginning to recognize aging not just as an inevitability, but as a modifiable process. But the question remains, should we? To extend healthy life is to reshape society. It is to redefine what it means to grow old. It is to challenge one of the most fundamental assumptions of being human, that time inevitably wears us down. Ale looks again at his reflection. His face carries experience without decay. He remembers friends who did not live to see this era. He feels gratitude, but also responsibility. A longer life demands deeper reflection. What will we do with the extra years? If aging fades into the background, if decline becomes optional rather than certain, then humanity enters unfamiliar territory. We would not simply be older versions of ourselves, we would become something new, a species capable of redesigning its own lifespan. And perhaps that's the true revolution, not just stopping wrinkles or strengthening bones, but taking control of a process once considered untouchable. Because stopping aging may not be the biggest change coming. Next, we explore the moment when intelligence itself is no longer limited to the human brain.